The free agent summer is coming. June 30th, that's the magic date. That's when a whole bunch of contracts are set to expire. And there are quite a few big names. Now, what I'm hoping is that all of these players I talk about actually leave their clubs and don't re-sign because, well, frankly, that would just be a lot more interesting. Let's start with the two biggest name players who are in Saudi at the moment. Obviously, Cristiano Ronaldo, he is pretty fit still. He's 39 years old, but he has an insane goal-scoring record in Saudi Arabia. He's got 35 goals in 31 matches in a league that, it's okay. He already said that he's happy in Saudi Arabia, but he wants more. And I think he's going to look at coming back into the Champions League. Where? I mean, your guess is as good as mine. I have no idea where he would end up. All right, let's move on to Neymar. This is a tough one. I mean, he's played so few games, 7 in 2 years. And I know he tore his ACL, so that was the reason. He came back for 2 matches and then had a setback. But I think he's going to leave Al Hilal, and it's going to be kind of a gut punch for Saudi that they spent so much money bringing Neymar, and that he's leaving after 2 years, having only really played half a season at best. Now, where's he going to go? I could totally see the Galaxy going full Beckham and bringing Neymar. I mean, maybe Inter Miami, but no, they have too many. All right, on to the ones who have been the most publicized recently. It's the 3 from Liverpool: Virgil van Dijk, Mo Salah, and Trent Alexander-Arnold. And I think it's a pretty different story for each one. Salah has been hinting or making it clear that this really is his last year at the club, and he's like, I'm letting it all hang out, I'm going for it. Okay, so let's assume he's leaving. Where does he go? Saudi Arabia might really want to come and get him, and for the Arab world, it would just kind of be a big thing. He may enjoy that, but I can also see him just being like, no, I'm staying in Europe, and Bayern Munich are going to take him because they will have an opening in the side, someone I'll talk about momentarily. Virgil van Dijk. Honestly, Virgil van Dijk, I think, will stay. I think he'll get a bumper deal because he is so important as a center back, whereas Liverpool have a bunch of attacking options and players that can be up there. Van Dijk is too important to lose. And then Trent Alexander-Arnold, and I think he's kind of already made up his mind. Bellingham's at Real Madrid. He's probably telling them, get him. He's the best crosser of the ball in the world. The crowd will love him. And Alexander-Arnold, who's been at Liverpool since he was young, might just be like, I'm just going to go. Sounds fun. So that's the 3 from Liverpool. Now let's move on to 2 of the biggest stars in the Premier League over the past decade: Kevin De Bruyne and Heung-min Son. As for Kevin De Bruyne, I think he goes to Real Madrid. There is a giant Toni Kroos-size hole there, and Luka Modric, despite scoring again recently against Valencia, is really getting on at 39 years old, and they could really use someone who can dictate the pace of play good passes. I think Bayern will also loiter around on this one because they are also losing a central midfielder, but I do think Real Madrid would be more interesting for Kevin De Bruyne. All right, so I've talked a lot about the Bayern players. Let's get into them. Eric Dyer is going out of contract. I think he'll come back to the Premier League, maybe like a West Ham or something like that. Then you got Leroy Sané, and I don't really know where he would go. Maybe Dortmund, maybe the MLS, but really the big thing is that he's going to vacate the right side, and that's where Salah's going to go. Next one's Joshua Kimmich, and I think he's going to go to Arsenal. Now, it feels like a pretty good fit, and Arsenal are also losing central players, so yep, kind of adds up. And the last one, huge name, is Alphonso Davies. There have been a lot of rumors about Real Madrid, and there may be a vacancy at left back there too. I can totally see that happening, especially after the banger he scored against them in the Bernabeu last year in the Champions League. All right, let's move on to some of the younger players for a minute here. Lille, my mother club, who are so good at selling young talent, are unfortunately probably going to lose 2 really good ones that would have made them a lot of money. The first one is Jonathan David, who has had a fantastic start to his life in the Champions League and has now, I think, shown all the big clubs that he's ready for the next step up. And I think he will come to the Premier League, maybe to Arsenal. Another Lille player is Angel Gomez, who came through the Manchester United Academy, went to Lille, has done really well, has gotten in the England squad, and I think he's going to go back to Manchester United. Just kind of makes sense. I mean, they really need some youth blood in the building that really knows how to play already, and an England international, it makes a lot of sense. All right, the next and the youngest on this list is Amad Diallo of Man United. All right, I'm going to give you a few more names that are interesting to wrap up, not go too deep into them, but there's some pretty important ones still left on this list. First is Jonathan Tah from Leverkusen, really instrumental in their title win. I actually think he goes to Bayern. That's kind of been talked about a lot already. Thomas Partey and Jorginho will be leaving Arsenal, and that's what's going to vacate space for Kimmich and others. And I think they're both going to Italy. Roma and Lazio, how about that? Paulo Dybala is going out of contract at Roma. Wild to think that he's leaving after just one contract after the reception they gave him when he got there. But yeah, I think it's going to be done for him, and I think he actually goes back to Argentina. But I will say, if Cesc Fabregas is still in the job as the manager of Como, he takes Dybala. I don't even know if they know each other. I don't know why. All right, the reason Alphonso Davies is going to Real Madrid is because Ferland Mendy at 29 will be leaving. Where's he going? I don't really know. I think it could just kind of be like Marseille, but also like he could be really useful to a lot of Premier League clubs. He's got a lot of experience, but I think he's going to go back to France. All right, here's a batch that I think all of them are coming to MLS. Ilkay Gundogan, Koke from Atletico Madrid, Victor Lindelof from Man United, and Frank Anguissa from Napoli. They all just make a ton of sense. I think it'd be great. Next, some of the younger Premier League defenders who have been showing really well this season. Tariq Lamptey from Brighton, Tyrick Mitchell from Crystal Palace, and Ola Aina from Nottingham Forest. All these guys are trying to put themselves in a position to maybe get a boost to a bigger club. We'll see if they get that or if they end up just doing something lateral. All right, and I'm going to close with a player who I always hoped the best for, but who would fit so well in MLS. It's Adama Traore. He's going to leave Fulham, leave Europe, and come to America where people would value his athleticism a lot.
I feel the need for speed.
All right, that's it. So thanks for stopping by. Let me know what you think. I'm Sebastian North. This is Campfire Football. Take it easy.